Hi everyone, I'm Bernie Quinn from Premcar. I'm very excited to be here tonight for the launch of the Holy Grail package here in Sydney. We've got a couple of cars here tonight. We're going to talk to some excited customers. But the cars we've got here today, we've got one of our prototype vehicles that we've converted and have been doing some testing on. But we've also got a vehicle that's been in the owner's hands for a few months now. The owner, Liam, who's going to tell us a bit about the Holy Grail experience. Hopefully tell you all how wonderful that is. And so without further ado, let's hear from Liam, and he can tell us about his car. Liam, how are you, mate?
Good.
So Liam was the original guinea pig for the Holy Grail package. Liam has got a GTS that he's owned since new, bought from Sinclair Ford in Sydney. It's a beautiful car, a manual GTF, rare car, and increasing in value as we speak, which is great. We converted Liam's car to the Holy Grail package about 6 months ago. How many Ks have you done on it now?
It's done another 10,000 since then.
So we really treated this as a typical customer usage profile for Liam, and he can give us feedback on things like, has it affected the drivability, has it affected the reliability, has it affected the fuel economy? So tell us about those things. How's it been so far?
So this is my daily driver. Absolutely love it. It literally gets driven to and from work every day. It's got a baby seat in the back, which I trimmed to match. So it does all the family duties, no problem at all. But I absolutely love when I get the opportunity to give it a bit of a squeeze.
Which is not often these days, and
No.
especially this weekend with double demerit points. So have you had the opportunity to really rev it out to 7,000 RPM, and obviously probably not in sixth gear, but in
a
the
few
lower
times,
gear?
on closed roads, of course. It's absolutely sensational. It's got plenty of kick, but it behaves like a brand new car.
Yeah. I mean, and that is really the thing that we tried to make sure that we captured with this car. It can be a daily driver. It's no more temperamental than a standard Falcon, and but it's, when you want it, it's got 480 kilowatts, 750 plus Newton meters. So it can give you that exciting kick in the pants when you want it to.
I've been down that road before with getting other people to modify them, and it just gradually turned it into a pig.
Yeah.
So with this one, I wasn't taking any chances.
Yeah.
So very, very happy.
Yeah, and I mean that's the whole thing. We really concentrated on keeping all those protection factors into the calibration, making sure that we gave you full access to the torque and the power when you wanted it, but with no compromise. So I'm glad to hear that it's worked out well.
Yep, absolutely love
and
it.
your driveline hasn't broken either,
No,
right?
and you can't have it back.
All right, no worries. Well, thanks, mate. Good on you.
No worries.
Cheers. And here's Kirk.
Bernie,
How are you, buddy?
Good,
Very good. So Kirk was guinea pig number 2. Kirk has a very beautiful FGX Sprint XR8. We also converted Kirk's car because he's a very good customer. Again, bought his car brand new from Sinclair Ford. We converted his car around 3 months ago.
About 3 months ago, yeah.
And Kirk's done quite a few kilometres on it as well. Again, we wanted to get that real world usage testing done. And the difference between Liam's car and Kirk's car is Kirk's got an auto. So we just wanted to make sure that we covered off any potential error states in that car as well. So what do you tell us what you think?
Oh, it's awesome. It really is.
Enough power?
Yeah, heaps of power.
Yeah.
It's a really nice car to drive.
Yeah.
Friendly, driver friendly.
Yeah.
As I said, it's just, yeah.
And again, no fuel economy issues, no drivability issues, no
Nothing.
broken drive
No broken driver lines, no.
And I can tell you from first-hand experience, this guy gives it a game. So that's great. So thanks again.
No worries,
Good
mate.
on you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Great job.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
At a recent day that we did for our Mustang people. But what I'd like to do now is unveil the mystery, if you like, the mystery man, the mask. I met this fellow a long time ago, and I said to him one day, I can do something with you. I said to him, he said, I'm a bit nervous about that. I said, no, it's okay, I'm very heterosexual. But he's a very, very interesting chap. He's a typical non-engineer, because engineers generally are propeller heads, and in Dick's world and in JB's world, they've seen plenty of propeller heads. but you haven't seen many engineers down at a nightclub dancing and grooving and singing. In fact, sings with a band, has a band himself. So please welcome my dear friend, the rock star, Bernie Quinn. Just before we start, maybe we could do a duet, dim the lights. No, just kidding. Actually,
The only thing about an introduction like that is it's all downhill from here.
well, you've been up the back, belting down the scooters in you with Dick and Foz, and you're having a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
So, if we go, I guess the right thing is to go back to the start and your role, and you joined Ford Performance Vehicles back in the early day, and very exciting time.
Yeah.
This chap to my left down here was the dedicated development test driver, so you had an interesting time. So just tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I joined the company in 2003 as the driveline engineering department manager. And we did a few projects like the 6-speed manual gearbox for the GT and the F6 and the XR6 Turbo. Met JB along the way. We'd go to, every time we went to Winton, JB would be there, thrashing the hell out of the cars. Taught me the lines around Winton, which I still haven't quite mastered yet.
Oh, right.
And so yeah, just progressed through the company, and eventually we did a management buyout in 2012 of the ProDrive Automotive Technology business, which was the engineering brain behind FPV.
Yep.
And since then we've just continued to do a lot of work for Ford and some other manufacturers too, but mostly for Ford. And one of the best projects I ever worked on was the development of that supercharged Miami engine. It was, it was one of those things where we were given almost like a blank page to come up with a suitable engine for a GT back in that day. That was back in 2008. And anyway, we eventually came to the conclusion that the Coyote engine wasn't going to be up to the job in the Falcon because it was a bit heavier than Mustang. So we wanted to supercharge it. So we looked at twin turbos, you couldn't package it. Anyway, we developed the supercharged Miami engine, and it was just a fantastic project from the word go. I mean, it was a challenge. Like, these things are always very challenging because you're spending someone else's money. We spend a lot.
How good would that be?
Yeah. But there's a lot of pressure with that.
Yeah.
When someone else has signed the checks, the pressure comes. So we did that, and we developed a version of that engine which was way beyond what we ever put into any of the road cars. We had engines on dynos with crazy horsepower. So we knew what the potential of that engine was. The challenge for us was, how do you make that work in the car? In a Falcon body shell. There was this thing sitting on the shelf that we developed that we never got to release.
Yep. But
Until now.
that's going to change, and we've talked about this on and off. And in fact, at one stage, I said, look, we've got a pack. We'd like to, build one just to see how it goes. And we've got Liam Quigley here with us tonight, and you've fitted a package to Liam's car. 6 months ago, you might say, 10,000 Ks, and Liam and Bernie did a piece to camera tonight. And I guess it's a daily driver, and there's a baby seat in the back if you want to go down and check out his car, and he'll happily talk to you later. But it does exactly what you said, and I think, if I can paraphrase, first of all, it's a factor conversion. Secondly, your words to me were, this is as if we're going to put it in the Sinclair Ford showroom for you to deliver. It's at that level.
Yeah. We don't want anyone coming back saying they've got problems.
No, we don't want problems.
And so, part of the validation program was, this thing's done over 100 hours, wide open throttle, maximum RPM, maximum power, switching between maximum torque, maximum power for over 100 hours on a dyno, flat out, non-stop.
That's a lot. Did anyone tell me how many days that is? Just not a test, or just a lot. Days and days and days.
Well, if you got your vehicle and counted up how many times you've run the thing at wide open throttle, full load over its lifetime, I can tell you it won't be 100 hours. You can maybe do
minutes.
You can maybe do 5 seconds of wide open throttle, before you break the speed limit and lose your license. Double demerits this weekend. And so add all those 5-second increments up, and there's a lot of those in 100 hours. So 100 hours of wide open throttle, it's a fair income durability test. this engine that we're putting in the Holy Grail package, it's done it. So,
Yep.
but then, so we've done all those sort of physical testing ourselves, but then the final piece of the puzzle is you get it into an actual owner's hands, make sure it doesn't do things like stall at the lights or hiccup when you take off or use too much fuel, all that sort of thing. So we put one into Liam's car, who's a close friend of the company, for around 6 months. He's done more than 10,000 Ks. And Kirk's car, he's done a little bit less than that, but he's still, his is an auto. Liam's is manual, and Kirk's is an auto, so we got both sides.
Yep.
And I've got one myself that I've been driving around as well as a daily driver, and it's a crazy car. It's just so much fun, but so drivable.
Yeah, I drove it, and my test was about 4.3 kilometres, so I drove it from the dealership to here tonight. And the thing that I noticed, I rolled up to a set of lights and it went green, and I was actually in third gear, and I just managed the clutch out, fed on the... Dave will be impressed by this. I know he's going to say, how I couldn't do that, right? And I generally couldn't. But I actually just rolled and managed, and it was third gear. It was about 10 or 12 k's an hour, and I drove through the lights and drove away. Did not burp, fart, didn't do anything. Just, I went, it was just, it is so drivable. In fact, I would suggest if you put people in the car, they wouldn't know it was done.
Well, until they put their foot down. We do well for something. So, I mean, it's got 483 kilowatts, and they're FPV kilowatts, they're not HSV kilowatts.
Yeah, good point. So if you know anyone with a HSV, just tell them we know that there's two sorts of calculations going on. Theirs and ours. Ours are real.
When you get time, and probably half of this, at least half have done this, looked at this YouTube video, but when we launched the GTF, we did a dyno comparison, or Wheels did it actually, Wheels magazine did it, because there was a lot of conjecture over whether we had, more power than the 430 kilowatt HSV GTS. And so we ran our 351 kilowatt GTF back to back on a dyno, two separate chassis dynos. One at Rob Herod, so he's on the blue side, and another one at some other Alan's.
You know Alan, who's a Cairns official.
Who's on the red side, let's say. And in both cases, our 351 kilowatt car had around 15 to 20 kilowatts more than their 430 kilowatt car.
Go figure that.
So
we get to the stage, you've done Liam's car, you're happy with that, you've done Kirk's car, you've obviously just finished yours and shipped it to me yesterday. We're at the stage, just to give you a bit of an update, we're actually building there's a website being built.
yeah.
You're to the point where most of the back end is pretty much ready to go, and there's been numerous questions about 100. Absolutely guaranteed, emphatically 100, no more, no second chance, that's it, 100 only, game over.
Yeah, there won't be any more than that. 100 we're going to do. We've got very, very solid inquiries, about around 45, 50. So anyway, very excited to have it, probably talked about it enough, but really excited. I wish I could take you all for a drive in the
It won't all
prototype
fit,
we've got.
mate, there's 100.
Well, there's a couple of problems with it. I reckon if it was 1971, it was a phase 3, and I'm like 6 or 7 beers in. Yeah, I reckon we'd still do it.
Give him a couple.
But it's not 71, it's 2018, and you can't do that anymore, and thanks for the fun toys.
Just when we weren't paying attention, everybody changed the rules. I don't remember. I hate that. I wake up in the morning, something else you can't do. I'm glad I was born a long time ago. This is an exciting program. We've got Bernie's right-hand man. Is it fair to give him a promotion?
No.
No, okay, good point. He's had probably a couple more beers than Bernie, but Chris Festina is Bernie's right-hand man. He's the head of... Yes, he got a formal title?
Yeah, he's chief engineer, so really, Hamo gets me up to talk. I don't actually do all that much. But Chris does a fair bit. But he's an engineer, so he's a bit special.
Yeah, is he the one of the propeller heads?
Yeah, there's a Asperger's, thing. Spectrum, that's it.
Yeah.
So Fozzie gives very simple answers. It's always, I want more power, it's got to be bigger. And if you get to talk to him tonight, that's exactly how he talks. If you see, example, right? Look at the airbox in an FPV GT, at Miami. It's the biggest airbox you've ever seen, because the way it was described, Fozzie, the CAD design, the guy who did the 3D design, So, Chris, how do you want the airbox? Bigger! So how much airflow do we do? More! That's exactly how he talks.
Sounds like he's like an owner, that's what they want, lots more, bigger, more powerful. So folks, there will be an opportunity, so Chris will be here, and for those that haven't registered, Chris has got some paperwork that he can take your details and keep you up to speed with what goes on. Please thank my dear friend, Bernie Quinn.
Good on you, Bernie.
Just quickly, if I can break with, wasn't part of our plan, but I thought it would be a great opportunity to get my friend from the front row here up and who's driven the car. So JB, you got upset? A quick round for JB, who's just going to quickly tell you.
Hello. Does it work?
We got an engineer turned it off and buggered, but no, it should work. You got talking. There you go. Look at that, eh?
Feel like a rock star. Yes, I drove the car at the farm. You know, the footage we saw then. It was it's where is it? That farm place?
Yeah,
it's secret, but it's a fantastic bit of road, and there's no, you know, no police, so no anything really, only trees and things to hit. But the car is just amazing. Honestly, I spent quite a lot of time with the Tickford FPV world, and this car is, you know, by far the pinnacle of all that stuff. It drives like a, you know, factory car. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, which is much more than most of the aftermarket stuff you can buy nowadays. And everybody's in it now with Mustang, of course. They don't drive like factory cars. They drive like hot rods. They hunt and they shake and have flat spots, and you know, this is really good, really good.
Just to clarify something, anything that I've sold and delivered with aftermarket mods, that doesn't apply.
Yeah, no.
Just say it.
No, of course, there's other people in the aftermarket game other than Hamo, of course. So I wouldn't mention any names,
No.
but it's very easy to drive, and when you light it up, it's incredible. It really is incredible.
And the rate of the delivery is just like, but it's not dumping it, you know, like a house brick. It's linear. It's just beautiful, smooth, very fast arrival.
Well, it's factory. You know, when people don't understand how much work goes into factory cars. Some guy on the corner develops a supercharger kit or whatever, and they don't know how to map it properly, and they can make good horsepower. These people, Bernie's guys, know how to do it, and it's, you know, so the end product is just as if you bought it off a showroom. So you could have bought it off a BMW showroom, a Ford showroom, or, you know, whatever. But it's perfect, absolutely perfect.
Right.
So there you go.
So thanks.
Give us some money. No, that was a joke.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple of minutes break. So guys, if you need to go to the bathrooms, if some of you like to go and have a little visit to the bar, we're going to come back in a couple more minutes, and please thank John Bow.
All right, thank you. I came all the way from Melbourne.
That's it. No, we're just going to have we'll come back. We're just going to have 5 minutes.